Hello. I'm going to try knapping a little bit today. And this is a big piece of obsidian. That a friend of mine sent me. And I'm going to try knapping this. You can see how this edge is caved like that. So that's a well, it's natural. So it gives me a platform. So if I smack that real good here, that should drive a big flake right down off of here. It's according to how far I go up. And that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to drive a flake off of this and see if I can get it long enough and big enough that I can actually start using that flake to make a knife blade. So I'm not going to use, this here is not, oops. That billet there is a 1-inch copper, well, it was a cap for plumbing, and I filled it full of lead at the very end, and then epoxied that onto this. That's my bopper. But I've got a hammer stone here, and I think I'll use this here. It's a little bit more weight, and I'll give this a crack and see what happens. Well, that's what happened right there. Now this one here, I could make somewhat of a small blade, work this down, make that into a blade. But I want something bigger than that, so I'm just going to set those aside, and you can see what it did underneath. So I'm going to give it a crack right here on this edge and see if I can drive a platform off of here. I'm going to support that under my hand. Well, this come off the backside right here, and that just flaked off right here. And what I ended up with is this one piece that flaked off on the backside. And a couple of these chunks here that are pretty well useless to me. So, but if you look, it's nice now across here. Now, I may end up just, it don't seem to want to give me a good flake. I may just end up just chipping away with this now. I'm going to hit this right here. Yeah, see, it's going right in and just hinging. You can see that. Just went straight down, hinged right there. I'm going to set this down. Yeah, you can see it's just going right jagged in through there. But I'm going to start chipping away a little bit at that. These things here, super sharp. That's why I have these gloves on. This stuff here will cut you. This is glass, volcanic glass, and it will cut you. So, I guess I'll just work around this. Take a little bit more off of here. It's going inward, but I can start on this side and drive it back, hopefully. Yeah, this is why it's going inward. If you can look there, there's some sort of a crack, or it's different material right there. Yeah, it's like a harder rock. Well, some of these flakes here, you knock it off, these bigger pieces, and you can get flakes that are usable for arrowheads and so on. So I want to get this piece out right here. So I'm going to hit this side again, right here in this divot. There we go. Now see how that drove that way? Now I can hit here, and that will flake off down this way. There we go. You can see how that is flaked up through now. Now this here, what I'm going to do is I will hit right here on this side. You can see how that's... You got to look for platforms and always be hitting on the platforms. Don't always go exactly the way you want. See, that just had this... Must have... It's a different material here. It had a crack in it, so it just flicked off like that. But... There we go. Look what that did. Nice flake off of there. And look what it gave me. That is a super, super thin. You know, that right there. You hold that like that, that would make a wicked, wicked blade just the way it is. And, you know, I wouldn't fashion this into a knife, but I can hold that just like that. And, you know, you could skin an animal with that for a joke. I'll show you right here. That's a piece of leather. Like, look, I just barely pushed in. I don't want to cut it all to heck, but that will cut that. That would skin an animal like you wouldn't believe. And that's what, for out in the bush, you know, this is all you need. Stuff like this here. Break off a good flake like that. You got a knife that you can, you know, use for a bit, kind of thing. A lot of their tools, that's all they did, you know. They didn't fashion handles and stuff unless they wanted to keep, you know, something or whatever. But most of their tools were just flakes like this. And it works amazing. That's why I started flint knapping, is because I wanted to be able to, if I don't have a cutting tool out there, if I can flake off a sharp rock like this, then I've got a cutting tool. It don't have to be pretty, it's got to be functional. So I just wanted to bring that to you. It's good for a survival situation to know this stuff. Just how to, you know, a rock, how well it can, you know, how easily it can be broken down into a flake and used as a cutting tool. So anyway, I'm going to set that aside. We'll keep going on this. This here, of course, is obsidian, though. Not just any old rock. This is one of the top quality rocks. See, I'm always looking for platforms that I can strike and get a flake off of. See, like this here, that's a nice platform as well. You can, when they start getting to the point that they're sharp and such, if you grind them a little bit like this here, it actually acts better and you can get a longer flake. That flaked off there pretty nice. And there's the flake I got off. It wasn't very long, but got some nice sharp edges on that. Got another good piece there. I gotta tell you, you guys must know, I'm not the best flint knapper out there, that's for sure. This is how I do it. I just look for platforms that I can hit and break off. Look how that one there broke. But it went right straight through and flaked that off. And I got this piece out of it, which would be the size I want for a blade, but to thin this down, I'm going to have to take so much off of each side of this to thin that down that it's going to be very hard to work with. But it looks like I'm just going to keep breaking this up and see what I can get out of this. Now, this here gave me a great platform to smack off of here and then take some flakes off of here. Now, I'm going to grind this up a little bit. There's another nice flake. That there would be pretty sweet. That's nice and sharp. But that's what I got out of that when I hit that. Now I'll hit another one right up here. I just flaked that off. Okay, now you can see how that is looking. I think I'm going to strike right here. There we go. Got a nice little flake out of that as well. Now you can see how that went in and hinged right here. The reason I'm doing this video is so other people that actually are really good nappers can watch how I'm doing this and give me advice. So I'm looking at this rock right now and I see this big bulb right here, and I'll see how this is. Now if I strike here, it isn't going to do too much. So thinking on striking right here into this bowl and hopefully flaking this part off. Oh geez, there's another piece. There we go. So I struck that and it just took that right out. Now I'll strike this spot right here and hopefully take that off. A lot of nice flakes. Tell you want to wear gloves when you start doing this. So you've got that there out of it so far. Now, looking around, seeing what I can find. Right here, this is still divoted down, and if I can get that off, that here should hit and take right off of there. Now, I'm going to try to grind this up a little bit before I do that. Make this platform a little stronger, so it will drive a flake a lot further. Perfect. I just broke that whole chunk off of there. And as you can see, I just thinned that right down. That's what I wanted.